Hola, muy buenos días.
Good morning and welcome to you all. Greetings to everyone following us through streaming. And welcome to the Agora of Telefónica. We are going to start another session about the super protagonist of the Congress. You know who that is, artificial intelligence. In today's session, we're going to analyze how AI has transformed the assistance for the user and the first solutions that were applied to the agent model that has revolutionized this sector. We have our customer that will explain what they've done in Veolia. We have Bruno Lago from Telefónica, Jordi Fualfa from Veolia, and Jose Francisco of the Contact Center Association. Well, hello and welcome. My colleague Raquel says something. When we compare a call center and we talk an AVR with different tones, it's like getting into IKEA. You think you're going to buy fabrics, and then you go through all the different sections, and there is even a restaurant, and you cannot find the fabric. You have to finish everything so that you can find the fabric. So technology is something similar. You have to listen to all the different tones until you get to your fabric. So we need to transform this technology in order to be closer to our customers. So the technology should adapt to the client. And we will share the Veolia case and everything we've done. So we are going to talk about this. Artificial intelligence is a reality in organizations. If we look back, customer support started in face-to-face situations. Then the technology evolved, and then we incorporated the voice channel with different automatization, and then users could ask for some things. But the capabilities of analysis of natural language were not very sophisticated. And now we use artificial intelligence or agentic AI. So we accompany our customers in that transformation so that unexpected things happen. Sometimes the AI is giving us the answers that we are looking for. ChatGPT, what do you think? To create a business of the best spaghetti kebab. A kebab doesn't have spaghettis. The artificial intelligence tell them it's a great idea. It's a great idea. Yes, it's a great idea. It's a combination of Italian and Turkish food, so it would be a great combination. Very creative and original idea that shows your artistic talent. And shall we help you with the business plan? Yes, please. I'm going to invest all my savings on that, so that these things don't happen. We are very close to the customers, and this is why we have Jordi, who is going to tell us what's Veolia. Well, Veolia, I have a lot of friends, so you already know it. We are leaders in ecological transformation in the world. In Spain, we are famous with the water market. We are leaders. 50% of the private market, 50% public, and Veolia has 50% of the private market, so we are leaders in the sector. And we started with energy. We have eco energies that gives heat and cold to our neighborhood, and now we are entering into the waste field. So tell us, this evolution that you've done, this customer support, customer service. Well, we are like all the companies minding our own business. So we have the contact center outsourced, and now the pandemic arrived, and then you had 1,000 municipalities, 1,000 houses and offices, and help them out. And this is where the transformation started. We started because we were in a hurry with the first contact center. And then when the pandemic finished is when the company reflected upon this and about the model that will give us more capability in the future, more resilience in the future. So this is when we established a partnership with Telefónica, and we structured two parts. One would be to focus on our own business, and but not losing the capability of controlling your flows. So we control the contact center, and we outsource to the company. We also give service internally. We started with AI, we started with the automatization, adding channels in order to keep on learning, and so on. So what Jordi explained is what we do with our customers. We understand the needs that they have. When the Genesis solution was implemented, and Jordi's case is very common. So you need to make decisions, and you have to help the customer about the technology they need to implement, the way to follow, the channels. And the starting point in Veolia was precisely this one. So this customer service was very fragmented, interactions were growing, and they wanted to offer different channels. So the challenge, apart from guiding Veolia in choosing the best technology, they required a long-term support, also the support of a partner like Telefónica that would orchestrate the agents, the people, the platform, and the AI solutions around customer service. So Telefónica gave the support with an approach in which the customer still manages what's going on with their flows, and that there is a link, a close link between the customer, Veolia in this case, and Telefónica. So Jordi, talking about the architecture, talking about Genesis. How is this architecture? Well, we have Genesis, as I was saying, and this allows us to open up channels, WhatsApp, messages, and we can use one or another. We can start a conversation on the phone and then finish with WhatsApp. Then we have AI, we have psychics, and we can make any sorts of calls with PCPay, PAL, and so this allows us to make payments. The first ones with Telefónica, so we're pioneers in this field. So changes of accounts or duplicates or any sorts of actions automatized. If a customer asks for a an agent, then we send the call to an agent. So this partnership with Telefónica allows us to have all structured steps. Everything is fluid and we are closer to the customer. It is an important part of the collaboration. And as for the future of generative AI, how do you see it? Well, it is changing. And we are in a very complex moment in the decision-making process because we need investment. Maybe generative AI not as much as the traditional one, if we can call it traditional, but it requires investment, implementations, and you need to make decisions because this technology is changing very rapidly. So our strategy was to have a platform that allows us to change. So now we are making an open question or a generative technology, or you take the documents. So you keep on changing and having a structure that allow you to make decisions. And also a better return on the investment. This is not the goal. Well, this is a very sensitive part when we talk about this project of artificial intelligence. Something that is very controlled is how we limit the consumptions, or how much is going to cost the migration from a traditional AI to another one. So it is the return on the investment. So the proposal that we work with Veolia is focused on two blocks: the platforms, the contact center that has to be robust. It is the foundations of everything, and then we work on AI solutions that are small add-ons. And we have virtual assistants for conversations, voice and other channels. We use biometric solutions to identify the user and offering a personalized assistance. I think that biometrics are important when regulation is stabilized. It's going to play a very important role. And then going back to talking about the experience of the user, of the customer, maybe a virtual avatar would be a solution. So we not only focus on the automation of the conversation or the cognitive models behind being sophisticated, but also to offer an experience that is very optimal channel-wise, so that they cannot feel that they are talking to a chat box, that they have the appearance of a human being. It's like talking to a person. There are hyper-realistic avatars similar to a human, and others that resemble a cartoon. And also the corporate neuronal voice, the big corporates to create a voice that is unique in the call center and can be distributed in all channels. And then finally, the artificial intelligence in the back end for the agents. So it's not only putting it in the front. It is one of the strategies that Telefónica is developing. So it's not only helping you in the front, but also helping the agents to be more efficient with Copilot. And this is our journey to help the customers so that they have powerful and robust solutions, but also the things, how the agents and the AI has to be prepared to give the right answer so that this doesn't happen. So can you please add a coffee table, which in Spanish is a night table? And where's the table? And where's the bed? And the table with the bed, not on top of it. The original picture with a small table. So you have surpassed the limit of images that are allowed. So Jordi, this collaboration, how have you experienced it from Veolia? It's been a great partnership. We've been very happy. You keep on discovering things. We were the first ones with Telefónica, and this requires risk and muscle as well, and also agreements, not only the financial agreements. So we need a strong technological partner that will give you support. And let me tell you that the partnership has been amazing, very good. This is why we're here, and we hope it continues. We are going to open up a public bid, actually, and all of the problems have been overcome. And when we had to think about what to do, Veolia's case is amazing case. So how a client has grown adopting these type of solutions like IPCI PAL, very disruptive, and also to test the solutions of artificial intelligence, more traditional in the beginning and then generative. So to me, it is a great, successful example that can inspire any other organizations. And we were talking about AI, and he said traditional AI, if it can be called traditional. And with this example of IVRs, of tones, it sounds archaic, but they still exist. So in this road or journey of transformation, we want to move from archaic to disruptive. And there is a very important concept that we need to take into account: orchestration. We need to move into models that are orchestrated. And here, the director of the orchestration is going to develop an important role. So in this proposal, or this strategy, we want to focus on this orchestrator. First of all, assessing the use cases, then choosing the technology, and with these AI models, and then deploying and maintaining the solutions at the customers. And in this orchestrator, this orchestra conductor, we want to integrate all these different technologies: integrations, reporting, security layer, everything under the orchestrator. To give you more tangible examples, this orchestrator will be like a middleware that is linked to the PBX and then receiving different use cases through the PBX, and the orchestrator will be deriving it to a Google model, or another one that will be using the layer of AI that the manufacturer will give you, Genesis in your case. And there will be other use cases that will not go through the PBX. They will go through the digital channels, and the orchestrator will derive them into different models. For example, to report an incident, you can open a ticket, and then AI will be able to interpret the type of incidents. This is the model. But this model, without the regulation, it would not fit. So in order to explain something that we are doing now, the customer support law, we asked Jose Francisco, the president of the Spanish Association of Experts in Customer Support. Thank you very much, Jose Francisco, for being here. It's not easy, my role. And the association as well has a very long name. And well, the Spanish word for customer, I don't like the word they are using in the association, but anyway. Okay, Jose Francisco, tell us, where is the law? I will try to be fast because I could talk for hours. So the law was approved on the 28th of December, and this law comes from 2020, but it was paralyzed with the elections, and then it was revisited again, and then some amendments were introduced. Some of them were approved and others not. One of the amendments was an important one. I will mention it further on. The process was very interesting, let me tell you. But right now, the situation is as follows. It was passed on the 28th of December, and the Spanish companies have 1 year to adapt to the regulation. There are a lot of requirements, but they are very ambivalent and not very concrete indicators. We need to develop a law so that the companies of more than 250 workers can be audited. So we have launched a working group together with the UNE, and any companies can participate. It will be an official regulation. So the Spanish companies will be able to use this law to make the audits. The telcos and the banks and the insurance companies are outside this law because they have their own regulation. So this regulation will be available in September, and in order to certify this, you will need to abide by the ENAC, which is the certifying agency for audits. So we are collaborating now with companies, with contact centers, and with the administration and the associations. So we need to reach a consensus. Which are the other points that are important? As you might know, on the 18th of February last year, there was a ministerial order that was introduced banning the calls from cellulars. And it had to be developed this year. There was an amendment, as I said before, an amendment that was introduced that says that the calls have to be codified. Today is the last day. The Secretary of State of Telecommunications has published 2 resolutions, one for the commercial calls and one for customer care. So customer care calls would be the way it was before. So we can only make, you cannot make phone calls from cellulars. The commercial calls have a prefix starting by 400, and we believe that it says it has to be implemented in 4 months, when we have 12 months for the adaptation, a year. And in the customer care, we want to have the cellulars to give assistance to the customers, and in the commercial calls, we ask that some appointments are not included. For example, post-sales, hospital appointments, legit interest. We'll see what happens. So today, the term finishes. We have to wait now, when we have 4 months period, a 4 months deadline. And in parallel, we are offering some seminars and answering questions that might arise. This is the most relevant things we're doing. And we are trying to help companies to adapt. We are dealing with a lot of these problems, and we are available if you need us. Jordi has a question. Yes, the companies are trying to adapt. So we've talked about AI and the impact of this customer regulation. Which will be the impact? Well, the law, I'm going to read the 5 points because it's important. And in customer care, we are going to have 2 laws. This is a specific law that deals with the automatization, and the artificial intelligence law that is going to take a step forward in the month of June. And in customer care, in customer support, we will have to be fully transparent to inform if they are interacting with an AI or a human supervision. AI cannot decide by itself in critical cases. It requires human supervision. The right of the consumer to be supported by a human being. So in quality and efficiency, it would be the same. The AI should be used to improve the quality and not to make claims more difficult or complaints more difficult. So the law gives 15 days to answer claims and 5 days for the charge resolutions. Accessibility is also mentioned, and vulnerability as well. And the AI systems should offer this accessibility and care for the vulnerability. So it is a very important challenge, because in a world that is changing, it is very complicated to combine both things. Well, Jose Francisco, we are going to conclude, and we've talked about what we do with the AI in Telefónica and in Veolia. So AI is not just having good musicians, and good models would be the metaphor, or good integrations, but how are they playing? Because artificial intelligence, when it is well orchestrated, makes the user experience moving. And the result will be that the customer will stand up and will applaud, like happens when you go to the orchestra. Thank you. Are there any questions? If not, we close this session, but we will be around. Thank you.
buenos días, bon dia a tothom. Bienvenidos también a los que nos estáis siguiendo.
To everyone via streaming. Thank you to this wonderful stand by Telefónica, where we're going to start the last roundtable of the Mobile World Congress 2026. And also, we are going to talk about AI. We're going to explain how we have applied generative AI to improve the digital experience of the employee, and the example of Prosegur and Melia that participate in the roundtable. We have Belén Espejo from Telefónica, and then Albert Navasquez from Telefónica, Antonio Paez from Melia, and Jose Marinero from Prosegur. Thank you all. Well, good morning to one and all. We are redesigning the employee experience, and we are doing it without losing the human touch. The 4 pillars that we use for this experience is what you see here. It's important to recover the protagonism of people when they work with technology, and this is why we are giving them tools so that they are autonomous. They are the owners of their experience. We are incorporating tools that allow us to be proactive, to know what's going to happen in the workplace when the employees have not even detected it. And we are measuring, because if we do not measure things, they don't exist. So it is important to have data and the intelligence of what's happening in order to make these decisions. And this takes us to the invisible workplace. What's the invisible workplace? Well, it is this feeling that we have in the workplace when everything flows, when everything works, and when we feel that we are being productive, that the tools and the technologies boost us to be the best, and we cannot even feel it. So technology is just an attribute, it's just a part that works on its own. And making it invisible can be a little controversial, because if we look inside, we've never had as much information, as much visibility of what's going on at the workplace in order to make decisions and to anticipate and to act in a differential way. And this is what we are doing with the help of AI. And here you have Genia. And Genia is a small robot, and it is an AI. It's not only a virtual assistant, it's an ecosystem of applications that we have embedded in the different layers of the customer care model of Telefónica. And it is a virtual assistant, omni-channel, in different channels. It has the capability to anticipate to the needs, and it is the cognitive brain of the service. So it understands me, interprets what I am saying, solves the problems and anticipates, and it's limitless. Genia can be whatever. And this is what we are going to talk today. I would like to introduce 3 people who know a lot about this, who are protagonists, and see how generative AI is transforming the DNA in their organizations. Antonio Paez, CEO in Melia, Jose Marinero, responsible of the workplace in Prosegur, and Roberto Abasquez, an expert in AI. A round of applause to all of them. So as I was saying, thank you very much for being here. Your experience is really important, and it is a luxury to have you all. The first question is for you, Antonio. So Genia in Melia is not called Genia. You've personalized it to put it in the DNA of Melia, and its name is Click On. Tell us. Well, I think that Click On was born as a tool, and then it turned into the attribute that offers this technology to the employee. And in a world in which there is a digital saturation and employees with 13, 14 different applications, with Genia, everything is concentrated, and then we can focus on other things. It's like buying bad time to give away good time. This is the headline. Genia, Click On in this case, is like a gift for the employees, because you turn the friction into productivity. Yeah. And as you said in the beginning, if it's substituting the human being, we like to think that we are enriching the best part of the human being, removing the friction and giving away this time to the customer. This is our vision in Melia, that makes the employee more powerful and to look up and look at the clients, because technology is making us to look down, and we need people to start looking up again. So there was a scare, I would say, when we implemented it, because we wanted to distribute it, make just a test, and then Alberto made it wider and broader. So how was the adoption? Well, it gave us an important lesson, because when there is a change management and the cycle, adoption, rejection, and so on, and it is a long period, and there is a communication strategy. You need to convince the people so that they start using it. But, Alberto do things very suddenly, and then what it generated was curiosity. So we learned that people started feeling curious, starting using it without telling them that they had to use it. So the lesson was that the clandestine is more appealing. And then it was the employees that started using it. And so now there is a very relevant use of this tool. So the traditional solutions, the communication plan, and so on and so forth, sometimes we have to break them. When something is very disruptive, you have to be disruptive. And if we compare AI with other previous technologies, the learning curve is minimal. So this is a technology that can be usable and that all employees can use it from the beginning. So the cognitive burden is reduced, and before the employees didn't want to share friction. So I'm going to say that I have a friction. So now they have these co-pilot, this AI co-pilot, there is less friction, and they are open to talk about the situation, and then they can solve it. Alberto, competence center, brain and heart. So what happened? What's your conclusion? Well, all the adoptions have tensions, but when you do it too suddenly, even more fear. And we are very aware that we are deploying an agent, we are deploying an ecosystem of applications of the operations of a customer, and then it gives you a responsibility. So you have this responsibility, and then you need to have a method. We have the method. This is why we are at ease. So I can give you more details. When we do an implementation, we have an architecture at 3 different levels. So first of all, we have tools that allow us to collect all the information, all the business knowledge, all the technical capabilities, and to deploy it in an AI so that we can answer. Then we have an infrastructure about the quality, and then been possible. So you have platform, you have knowledge, you are anxious, but you know that your product is very solid. And now that the client asks for these reduced implementation times, we are capable of doing it because we know that Alberto already did it. And Jose, we were together last year. We were announcing that you were starting using AI, transforming the experience of the employees in Prosegur. So tell us the evolution. Well, it's been very good, and I would like to underline the adoption by the user. It was a very traditional service in which the telephone has been the base of the support, and then the interaction. So the process that we have lived in the beginning, it was difficult for the user to interact, so I'm not going to obtain anything from here. And we've improved the documents, which are fundamental, putting the business in the center and the support that is needed. And then we've started seeing that the adoption has increased. And then we can start modifying these structures and the improvement of these different models. Here, Telefónica is doing a fundamental task together with us. And what we wanted is to bring it to a different level. So you can put the AI in the endpoint that you need. And in our case, we have created a web portal with a more cross-section vision, so that we don't have just a chat and that's it. So during this past year, our agent, Genia, turned from an experimental bot into an entry point, a real entry point that is limitless and that is growing exponentially. So Alberto says it is another agent, a virtual agent in this level 1. This is very relevant, what you say. It's difficult to bring the organization to a different channel because it was a traditional channel before. We've broken down this barrier, and now you have created this portal, and now the experience is a more cross-section and more unified. Tell me, what did the employees say? Was it easy? Well, it's been very good because in Prosegur, we have different business units, and not everybody is in an office in front of a computer. So the portal that we created gave us the capability to reach all the corners, and not only a generative AI model, but also these modules in the portal where the user has their own universe. They can interact to solve the problems and to look for improvement, satisfaction service, proactives. I will give you details further on. So in the end, you have a digital experience that is more holistic, and then you bring the AI there. So it's not just a conversation with the model. So everything I am collecting is in my universe, in my profile. And Telefónica also has it in order to model the experience of this employee. And this is a step forward for us because we are we already have Genia, the agent, and then Prosegur says that they have created a portal. So what was the impact? Was it very difficult to implement it? How did you do it?
Well, this was a business requirement, and we have to be there. But of course, the time frame is one of the main, let's say, limitations. Let's say it was a challenge. Yeah, let's put it this way. And the thing is, users, listen, they benefit from AI, but also IT and development teams. Well, now we are empowered to offer more quality, more safety, and to develop in such a fast way that would have been impossible a year ago. So we have the support of Prosegur, and yeah, we developed the portal. Jose has already said it all. We wanted to develop a portal which would put at the center connection with Genia, but also a universe for users so that they can track their requests, and end-to-end personalizing the access point, giving feedback, and as Jose said earlier, this is the most important element, our development line, proactivity. In the Genia portal, you can reach users when there is an incident, and of course this is paramount. And well, I have to insist, Jose is very humble, and I would like to underline that the development has been a success. It's a modular development approach, and we're going to keep moving forward. I would like to underline the importance of time management. Prosegur did an excellent campaign. Again, Prosegur did an excellent campaign which has boosted users' attention and adoption levels. And well, this is quite rare for us. It's been, no doubt, a massive advantage. And well, the development is very nice. The communication with Guinea is amazing. And the fact that the channel is the preferred one for users, this has been possible thanks to a campaign in which we have been talking about the what and the for what. And for me, this is the main success of the whole project. Opening a new channel is interesting. The value proposition is to be powerful when you open a new challenge, right? And there, of course, we need to talk about the ecosystem and also productivity. Jose, we've improved in productivity, haven't we? Absolutely. One of the, well, again, starting with the portal, as we said earlier, the productivity layer. When it comes to the productivity layer, we've been working with it for quite a long time, and we've boosted it thanks to the portal because, you know, AI grows exponentially, and the way we integrate it in our business units is also quite exponential. So again, I want to improve users' experience. So again, looking at the capacity. So again, these are campaigns we carry out where we want to either distribute something to users or inform users, or perhaps, you know, saying, listen, this is what is going to happen next month, etc. So thanks to artificial intelligence, communiques, time and change management, incredible production in record times, everything has happened in such an exponential way that the proactive would match the model perfectly. Because, you know, at the end of the day, users are bombarded, they like what they see, they adopt it, they have it in their machines, and they get it fixed. to give you a basic example, right? And that's when satisfaction levels increase. The solution is proactive and reactive, and DEX grows exponentially and immediately. You don't need to wait for new developments anymore, because anything you do. Oh, by the way, we are always interested in proactive solutions. I am obsessed with proactive solutions, and even users can see it right away. I like underlining the value you are offering, and level 1 is the past. Because, well, you know, the level 1 includes capabilities we haven't not even discovered. It's going to be something different if we start talking about agent to agent, etc. But again, I think we are about to start a very exciting period. I think this is related to what you were mentioning earlier. We have beaten our users' experience and expectations. You know, being in advance to users' expectations offers a very interesting and different proposition. All this is excellent, and well, we are all thrilled with technology because we're tech experts, we live it, we love it, but of course we need outcomes. Antonio, are you measuring outcomes and about how ClickCom is working for Melia? Well, the official answer would be that the first KPI that we received, and we could see the evolutional change, was the first time fix. Solving problems, a challenge we exposed to Telefónica and that you have sent back to us, is precisely that, right? We know that you know how to solve problems. Now we want you to anticipate, and we want them to be invisible for users. And I believe this is one of the main challenges. Who does what? So again, this is the official answer. The unofficial answer would be the following. I think that from the IT domain, in a world where technology is at the center, we wanted to ensure that, well, IT is not discussed. In a hotel, if the customer or the client speak about IT, something is wrong. And if the host speaks about humans and services, something is going wrong, right? Absolutely, and this is difficult to measure, right? And this, of course, changes our approach. Jose, what about you? Are you measuring your outcomes? Yes, absolutely. We're measuring things. The NSP is very high. 89%, 99% satisfaction, and this, of course, has to do with. I think that from an operational perspective, that means there's a change that IT is implementing in this first support level is just incredible, and the transformation of agents is quite remarkable also because they are adding value to Guinea. And you know, this is done once, then you need to go towards a long life learning. We operate in 29 countries, and managing all this database is complicated. A multi-country phone call in the past included many document managers, so all this database is also measured, of course, in the sense of what improvements am I including in the documents and how this impacts positively. So this is what I would like to underline. And even more importantly, the capabilities that we can see in terms of Guinea. Guinea is the main support channel in the short run, and the data we manage are quite frightening, in fact, because you realize many interesting things can happen, and you start, you know, making sure that the staff is aligned with the present, with the market, with the technology available out there, because our staff uses this technology, right? And bringing this to operational processes is not that easy. We all use generative AI, and a conversational chat is very easy. But upscaling it to functions and to integrating it to other functions, opening tickets, this is where the magic starts. And well, we're measuring very interesting things. And now I think we'll talk a lot about this portal, Alberto. Even if we trust Guinea, we're not going to leave it alone, right? We're always there, depending on what it does. So how are we going to monitor the behavior of Guinea in Telefónica? Of course not. And as we're very thorough in data management. So again, we work at 3 different levels. One is like more micro, the micro level, which is a supervision of all conversations. In fact, all conversations include red flags when there's a problem in the response quality or a technical problem, let's say. And we also allow agents to engage on behalf of AI if something is going wrong. So we allow human intervention, absolutely. Yes, but there is a tool so that staff members can take control on behalf of AI, and also there's a simultaneous translation capability, which in international environments is important. This would be the micro side, and then there is the, let's say, operational side with KPIs, the typical KPIs. I'm not going to get into detail now, but we're speaking about telemetry, resolution, processes. And last, there is a manager layer. The manager layer, so that managers can have a look with the support of AI to the service layer to detect diversions, problem management, issues. So yeah, we are very thorough because, at the end of the day, without data, you're nobody. It wouldn't be possible to scale up data meaningfully. So this is it, yeah. Where does AI start and where does it finish? Data are central. So Antonio, we are thrilled. Thanks for coming. And we will invite you back next year. What do you think we're going to be discussing next year? What is the future of artificial intelligence in media? So I think, we were discussing about that earlier, right? The future, or our take on the future, is precisely making the most of each employee and getting rid of all the technological friction so that they can look up and attend our customers. The invisible workplace, indeed, yes. And of course, there is a side where we'll need to speak about digitalization. But as Janice Roca from HD said, I follow him, less digitalization and more, let's say, getting hands-on. Absolutely, this is a risk if we delegate too much. The core business is the core business, and AI is there to help us, but not to replace us. Jose, what advice would you give to companies which are perhaps listening to the presentation, who are thinking about doing this little step forward? So my experience tells me that an AI project, a generative AI project, should not be considered an experiment. It can start as an experiment, but you need to be very clear about where you're headed. Realistic milestones, small steps, not trying to take it all at once. You need to really understand your business. You need to know where you want to get it to. And of course, you need a tech partner who shares your vision, because at the end of the day, I was talking about experimentation, because experimenting with AI today is very simple, but doing an operational project with true functions, an interactive project, the magic comes there, right? If you share the vision, I have the fortune of sharing a vision with you. We've had the chance to discuss in a very constructive way around AI. And again, we were very clear about where we were headed. And for me, this is the grounds for growth because 4 eyes see farther away than 2, and this is what you can do in Guinea. Prosegur Alberto, we have very little time. What comes next? What can we expect from Guinea and the future? Well, it is difficult. We are no magicians. We are all discussing about artificial intelligence. There is a lot of noise out there in the market. I would keep a message. I like what NVIDIA CEO says. He says probably in near future will become some sort of human resources of your own agents, which contribute to productivity. We should be there, right? We should ensure the interconnectivity with the tools and proactivity. This is a clear thing, but again, we need to go to a more, let's say, agent-oriented layer. An agent which perhaps is in a complex ecosystem and helps us not only from an operational perspective, but also from a productivity perspective to make sure that, well, we become much more productive. This is our take. Let's hope next year we'll discuss about it. My feeling is the future is closer than we expect. So this is the end. I think we're out of time. Nonetheless, we'll open for questions. And if this is not the case, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure sharing time with you. This is how we feel. Fortunate. We really are harmonized. Thank you very much. And again, the good part is that there are no boundaries. The limit is in our imagination and in the degree of ambition of the projects we want to undertake with partners like you. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure.
Hola, 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 hola. Bienvenidos al stand de Telefónica. Que levanten las manos, los que seáis de 42 Barcelona. Vamos a decir, sobre todo porque nos están escuchando fuera, para que todos los que estáis de 42 Barcelona por fuera del aro, entréis en el aro. ¿Hay alguno por fuera que me estáis escuchando? Por favor, en el stand de Telefónica, entramos en el aro, porque vamos a empezar el Demo Tour, última sesión en el Ágora de Telefónica en esta edición del Mobile World Congress 2026. Damos un minuto. Empezamos. Demo Tour de Telefónica, ¿qué significa eso?
What is a Telefonica demo tour? Maybe you were here last year. This is going to be different, right? We need to change, we need to improve things. So the idea here would be to share with you the three main demos we brought to the stand and other elements we have incorporated to talk about technology with our customers and with our visitors. So let's get started. So this is not working for the time being, but it will. You might be asking yourselves whether I'm going to play the battery or not. What do you think? Am I going to play the battery? Raise your hand if you think I'm going to play. Even you raised your hand. Wow. So let's do it. Yes, it will be played, but not by me. So three main demonstrations, live experiences, integrated here in the stand and also in other stands. We're in a big place. There are also startups, Wire in Pavilion number 8. So this is what we're going to be discussing about. But again, this is going to be different from what we did on Tuesday. For us, it is a pleasure and a pride. We feel proud of you being here. This is very important for us. So let me briefly summarize the different demos and guide you through some details. Some of the experiences we've brought is called Titan Connect. Yes, you are here. I thought you were in a meeting. You're here. So Titan Connect. We had a clip the other day, but I think it's better to have the person here. The leader of this demo. Anna, do you agree? Come here. Anna? So, take a seat. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, loud and clear, thank you. Should I come a little bit closer? Oh, it's been 4 days and my voice is at its minimum. So, very quickly, Titan Connect. Titan Connect is a value proposition in Telefónica Spain. Value proposition based on communications, how to ensure resilient communications so that businesses, companies, public administrations can perform their operations in their everyday life. So what better than thinking of a scenario where these networks are super stressed? A Champions League match with 90,000 viewers, anything can happen, and things happened. In fact, there's an accident, and thanks to our technology, we are capable of keeping communications alive between doctors and the ambulance. And then from the ambulance to the hospital. Is there anything else you would like me to say that you would like? How many of you are Barca followers? Good. Oh, very little, very few. So if you get to that corner and you see the stadium we've simulated, you might think this is the Barcelona Football Club, but no, it's not the case. Oh, someone from Japan came. I took a picture of him because he said, this is my stadium. No, 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 this is a generic stadium. But again, this is an anecdote. I said Titan Connect has arrived to Japan. And the key is that we offer the best connectivity to our users in the stadium. In the stadium, there are safety staff, press, paramedics, and not all of them are followers. They look somewhere else. So what Titan Connect does is to ensure that those who look inside and those who look outside are well connected. Yes, more or less, this is how it works. Great. Sounds beautiful, but what matters are the figures. 97% of IT leaders consider... Oh, thank you, Anna, by the way. Thank you very much to the team, to the Titan Connect team, Sergio, Paula, Cristina, all of them, under the leadership of Anna. So again, 97% of IT leaders consider that these communications are key. Because you are students, right, aren't you? What do you want to be in the future? What do you want to do? Beyond working in Telefónica, you want to work, right? So you're interested in figures. If 97% of leaders are concerned about this, you shall be concerned as well, right? In general, well, you need to contribute to building robust communications. Think about everything you can create. And 91%, and this is going to be even clearer, 97% of leaders want to invest. This means they're going to hire you. And you say, listen, today, what day is today? Thursday. No. March the 5th, 2026, a guy near the drums said that you were going to hire me. Right? Good. So let's go to the next demo. Mission critical. How are we going to talk about this one? In fact, a demo tour is about to start. Jesus, I'm not going to play the clip because you take too long. So let me promise you that if you talk more than 2 minutes, I will just take the mic away. Jesus Abraham. Oh, thank you very much. Take a seat. I'm going to sit here in the drums, by the drums. In fact, we are having a live connection with Port Forum where we have the real experience deployed. So if I manage to finish in 2 minutes, you can come closer. What is Mission Critical DOM? This is our Telefónica solution, the solution against natural disasters when every minute counts. And what is it about? Well, a mobile network, which is 100% private, autonomous, safe, and deployable in minutes. You don't need hours or minutes. No. You need just minutes to bring back connectivity to affected areas and offering to emergency teams and safety teams real-life connectivity so that they can coordinate themselves. What components do we have here? So in 20 seconds, good. Hyperconnectivity based in 5G, both public and private. Satellite connectivity and gateway with radios deployed in the team, cybersecurity for the infrastructure and for all the assets connected to the public and private 5G. Do I have 10 seconds? Please go ahead. So artificial intelligence, multi-agentic AI to reduce the cognitive load of all the frontliners, critical services, drones, sensors, command and control, a full ecosystem developed by the national industry, thanks to Telefónica and all the partners, to offer the best solution to those that help us. Am I done? Yeah, you owe me 35 seconds. Good, thank you. So, Mission Critical DOM, thank you very much. The team is wide, so let me say a couple of things here. 12 companies have partnered in the development of this solution. How many of them were Spanish companies? All of them. This is quite remarkable. Put your hands together. Spanish companies. European sovereignty. We need to manage that our companies have work in Spain. This is important, isn't it? So yet another important thing that the guy gave you today. So this is one of the demos we shared with the king. And what motivated us, well, this demonstration started 7 months ago. Yeah, 7 months ago, because the development is quite significant behind this demonstration. And a month and a half ago, there was an accident, right? Remember the accident in Andalusia? His Majesty the King, and I reminded him the other day, said this: a country shows its strength by the way it responds to its emergencies. And he did our marketing. Everything was clear. We knew that this was going to be a total success. This is a state affair, something that moves us. I think it's clear what mission critical DOM is. And now we'll have a session in Port Forum here in Barcelona. So let's move forward. Quantum Telco. Jose, Juan, Unai, Andres. You need to really put your hand together for them. Allow me to say a few words. Do you feel identified with them? They have 2 arms, 2 legs. They are clever, intelligent. They are willing to work. 5 months ago, they were not in Telefónica. Today, they are in Telefónica, and they are the forefront of Quantum Hub in Telefónica. Thank you very much for the effort Juan Cambeiro deployed and his team as well. So things change when you want them to change, otherwise they don't. So now, please, tell us what Quantum Telco is about. No matter who. Hello. So, I don't know if you know anything about quantum. Even if you do, you have no idea about quantum, and neither do we, because it's such a complex field. Come closer later and we'll give you more details. What we have here in Telefónica is divided between quantum safe and quantum computation. Quantum computation includes quantum computers, different quantum computers. We've already launched some demonstrations in the field of pharma, logistics, networks optimization, amongst others. And then, as I was telling you earlier, we have quantum safe communications. Quantum safe communications is about how we're going to adapt to the new encryptation landscape when quantum computers are powerful enough as to close or break, rather, the current encrypting techniques. So this is what we wanted to share with you. We invite you to join us later. There are no snacks, by the way. So tell us about what we're doing with Bitas. Because, innovation is only possible if you have a customer. If you want to do things, we are your company. So within this global objective of implementing quantum technologies today in their current development plan, well, we need to speak about Bitas, a project in which we use general quantum computers to somehow improve the process to design new treatments against disease. In this case, skin cancer. Quantum allows us to develop machine learning models, more imaginative models, which explore solutions in a free way, so to speak, as to find candidate molecules for treatments, improving processes, resources, and at the end of the day, becoming much more efficient in a process which tends to last for years or decades, and it's very costly. So this is the main objective in the context of BITAS. So this is the way it works. You put technology in the network, and then you consume it, right? You introduce quantum, post-quantum, and then you consume it. Yet technology is introduced in the network, and you use it depending on who uses it. In a bottom-up approach, they are part of an ecosystem which is basic. They are the ecosystem. Would you like to buy a quantum computer? Give me 9 million euros, and I will find you one. A Radiance, a IQM Radiance. But what are you going to do with a computer? What are you going to do if I offer you a computer? Right? This is an interesting question. The IQM is there, but you need people. You need people to program it, to solve problems. You need to adapt it to quantum computing. And if you do a master's in quantum computing, maybe next year you'll be here. Because last year they were not here, and today they are here. Because things change only if you want them to change. I hope I was clear. I think many governments have visited us, and regional councils, and now quantum hubs, there's only one, right? There's only one quantum hub, or maybe two in Spain, maximum two. Microphone for him. We are in Bilbao. You are everywhere, of course. And we are all looking forward to, I mean, we're living in spectacular times, not only because of the capacity we have and the willingness we have, but also because quantum is really powerful today. Telefónica is totally in, local governments are in also, so it's a spectacular moment, a very interesting moment. Everything is possible, and companies want to be more and more competitive. Amazing, thank you. So they are there, you can go visit them. Thank you, and you deserve a clap. Good. So, where did I drop my clicker? Oh, here. So how many demos are there in the stand? 3. How many have we seen? 3. So what are we going to see next? The next point we're going to see are things we have in the stand improving our customers' experience. In the Agora, there have been many demos in the past, and please have a read. But now I'm going to focus in other areas, other experiences are just the ones you can see here in the screen. So, computer vision, to know how many people are moving around, smarter steps. Before I ask you to join me here, oh, where are my notes? Have you memorized them? No? Okay. So smart steps. Smart steps is basically about understanding how people move around by tracking mobile phones, big data. We have 15 cameras here. None is recording anyone. And this allows us to know how many people are here in the stand, how many people have visited the demo, etc. So we know everything about you. What do you think happened in this MWC? Would have we had more or less visitors? Less. In fact, less, unfortunately. So let me tell you how it worked. 20% less visitors to the MWC. 20% less. So Hoffman should have a look at what happened. 176 countries, 11% of the visitors are Chinese. The main exit time is 4 o'clock, so maybe we'll need to adapt the timeline, etc. What happened? What happened here in Telefónica stand? There's been 20% less visitors in general, but it doesn't mean that less people has visited us. Okay. Let's see. We're going to give you the figures until yesterday. Without counting you, 19,300 people have visited us. Telefónica Tech. 19,000 people. So we'll have to compare with last year rather. If we want to compare with last year, we would need predictive algorithms, and we need to see if this drop in visitors has affected us or not. Demos. We've talked about 3 demos. We've counted by areas how many people has stayed more than 10 minutes in our stand or not. So number 1, mission critical dumb. Winner, the total winner, 1,900 realizations, 45% of the demos in the stand. Titan Connect, 1,070, 24%. No doubt that the location matters. And Quantum, which was in the corner there, and part of the presentation was a little bit, let's say, invisible. 31% of the visualizations, more than 4,000 demonstrations. It's not bad, right? So we'll compare with last year and we'll see if the drop in visitors has affected us or not. But there's something else inside this stand which allows us to make it accessible. But for that, I mean, yesterday someone visited us. Daniel, Pablo, please come closer. Someone came yesterday and this person told me something quite thought-provoking. He was walking around and he told me, oh, when I entered here, the Telefónica thingy, I felt better. Things are perceived differently. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going to hand it over to Daniel, who will tell us more about what I mean. Daniel, please introduce yourself. Good afternoon to one and all. It is a pleasure to be here with you. And as you can see, I am blind. I developed blindness 8 years ago. I was a captain when a fire extinguisher exploded in my face and I lost my gaze. As you can imagine, it's difficult, right? It's such a difficult moment. You just break as a... I mean, for me, it was very difficult to understand. I couldn't think about living without seeing. But, you know, there are opportunities out there and you need to get them. This is what I did. I decided I wanted to live. And I wanted to live fully and in a dignified way. And here in Telefónica, you can see that there are more and more accessibility solutions so that we can have an inclusive immersion. In parallel, I decided to go back to my passion, to what I had lost, or to what I thought I had lost, which is sailing. Sailing as a blind person. It's different, isn't it? So there, I developed a project called Yes, We Sail. It's a tech project, but also a social project. As you can see, I carry a band, an haptic band. This means that this band guides me through vibration. It tells me where to go, where the wind is blowing. So by adapting my boat, I'm now capable of sailing again. All this goes hand in hand with an application which allows us to control and create all these vibration patterns and other fields. And this has been possible, and this has been shown to the world. This very same summer, I was the first person to round the island of Wight in the UK. And why going all the way up there? Well, basically because we wanted to show the traction to the International Federation, and we wanted to thank also the America's Cup, the entity who helped us get where we are today. And as a result of that, everything was run so smoothly that they allowed us to participate to the first World Cup, and we are the sub-champions, world sub-champions. This is inédit, and it's been possible thanks to the technology. Only thanks to the technology. What I would like to say is that technology, well, we criticize technology oftentimes, but for some of us, and you never know when this can happen to you, right? Your life might change from one day to the next, and this technology might help us go back to the activities we thought we would never do again, because the only limitation is within us, and I am a living proof of that. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Pablo. Thank you very much, Danny. It is difficult to speak after you because you're such a powerful person. You are also wearing glasses. These glasses were ours. Yeah. Oh, apologies. I haven't noticed. Danny, I think we're gonna offer them to you for free. Tell us what you experienced yesterday thanks to these glasses. So, as Guillermo was telling us, I had an immediate feeling when I arrived. I met you and Guillermo, and I thought, wow, these guys are cool. And you told us, well, this stand is inclusive. And I was like, okay, let's see if you are really inclusive. And you truly are inclusive. So, thanks to these glasses, I've been able to experience these 3 demonstrations and enjoy these 3 demonstrations and get more details about what is happening in front of me thanks to these cameras and thanks to the technology developed by Telefónica. Well, thanks to that, you can capture our environment and describe it in a very precise way, in an excellent way, I would say. So definitely, they are for you. They are for you. Thank you very much, Dani. And apologies for my voice. I've guided so many visits these days. What Danny said is fundamental. This year we have the most accessible stand in history. The smart glasses are run by an AI-powered algorithm in our device. So again, sovereignty. It is basically describing what happens in each demonstration in a dynamic way. So when there's a submarine, because there are submarines, Danny receives this description. And I know where you come from, and I would like to tell you how these things are possible, how these projects are possible. We have an excellent relationship with the developer of this OP, and we ask them for the SDK. I think you know what SDKs are, right? So we took the ingredients, and around a month ago, we asked an innovation department here in Telefónica, the Future AI Lab. By the way, greetings. So they incorporated this solution into our lenses. From this lab, of course, what they aim is at improving accessibility and boosting our capabilities thanks to the use of technology. And this is an excellent example of one potential solution. I've been allowed to give a small teaser the rest of the year. Mr. Guillermo Bataller and the rest of the team work in the Innovation Center in Telefónica in Madrid. You're all invited. Then I'm going to be told off because there's many of you. So what is the spoiler going to be about? Hackathons. No need for me to say what a hackathon is. Last year we did the first hackathon with the School 42, and the winner has exposed or exhibited the project. I am not going to ask who is using that in the past. And what I mean by that is that there are SDKs at your disposal, hackathons, and humanoids. So this is me. Thank you. Danny, shall we? Thank you. I think we are all touched. So again, we met him yesterday. Telefónica connects data, but we also connect people. Guys, we need to connect it all. And most likely, right, Daniel, you're going to get to know more people from Telefónica. This is what Telefónica is about. An ecosystem made of human beings. It's not only about technology. We are also a human company. Think about where you are and where you want to go in your life, and think whether you want to connect with people. You know, we met yesterday. He knew nothing about Telefónica, and now we are partners. And there's more in the pipeline, of course. I'm not going to talk about the startups in Pavilion number 8 with Wyram. You're all invited to go visit Wyram. And again, where are you? Where are you? You are in the ring. And the ring, there's an agency that works with us in this stand. And look at what's happening. Look at what's happening now. 10 tones are being lifted with 24 engines, The configuration is going to change in a minute, and things will happen. Someone is going to play the drum. It took us 3 days to set this up. The ceiling has had to be reinforced. We've had to ask a special permit for special activities, because this thing moves. This ring moves, and everything that moves might drop, right? Don't worry, it's not gonna fall on you. You have to be inside or outside, but not under the ring or the circle. This is Telefónica. We need to ask permit to do things. This is important. So I'm gonna stand out, and we're gonna ask Ben from the US to come. Ben told me that after 10 years in Spain, he will never leave the company ever again. So Ben, I'm gonna shut up now and hand it over to you.
Anticipation building. The next begins. Every beam points forward. Every signal connects lives. Across homes. Across cities. Connecting what's next. Innovation starts. Ideas take shape. Movement becomes progress. Progress drives what is next. A world of possibilities. Born from rhythm. Powered by Telefónica. Made for people. Every beat is a signal. Every signal connects lives. Built for what's next. At the vanguard of change. We don't adapt to the future. We shape it. We power it. Ready for next.
Bueno, todo lo bueno se termina. Bien, lo que tengo aquí es algo que os vamos a entregar. No hemos traído merchandising a nadie que haya venido aquí iba a decir la cabina, al stand de Telefónica. Solo es para vosotros. No es uno.
Fill it in, and then we'll offer you this merchandising. It's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure, to share time with you. So we'll see each other next year, and thank you very much.